Hey, everybody, and welcome to AP Microeconomics, Unit 1, Day 1. We begin our study of this course by looking at some basic economic concepts, particularly looking at opportunity cost and marginal analysis. And we will spend some time talking about the importance of scarcity and that concept to our study of economics. We'll discuss why we have choices that we have to make and how they result in something known as opportunity costs. We'll provide some examples of how businesses and consumers face scarcity. And we'll also discuss what it means to have marginal benefit and marginal cost and how you conduct marginal analysis to make optimal decisions, particularly in economics. And that's going to be a skill that we're going to use throughout the rest of the course. Problem that faces everybody at all times. It's the biggest challenge in economics. Um, and so we see scarcity in lots of places. In the recent past, we saw scarcity in the grocery stores when COVID-19 began and people didn't understand the disease and they were very nervous and scared about what it might mean for the world um, and their ability to go out and shop. People freaked out and they ran to the grocery store and they bought up all the toilet paper they could get their hands on. And so there was not enough to go around, at least at the beginning, because we have a scarcity. There's a shortage of goods to meet the needs of consumers. As Thomas Sowell, an American economist, said, there are no solutions, there are only trade-offs. And that's the reality in our world, is that um, we have to make decisions about, can we have this or that? We can't always have everything that we want. We have limited resources, but unlimited wants. And so we have to make some choices. And so when we talk about those choices, talk about those trade-offs, we talk about what we will choose and what we could have chosen. And that creates what's known as opportunity cost. And opportunity costs are the next best alternative that we give up. There are lots and lots of things we could do with our time, but whatever the next best thing is, that's what I am giving up. So if I had $20 to spend on lunch and I chose to spend that $20 buying lunch at Chick-fil-A, well, there's lots and lots of different restaurants I could have gone to, but only one of those is my opportunity cost. Whatever restaurant I would have gone to had I not gone to Chick-fil-A, that's what I'm giving up. So maybe it would have been McDonald's. I'm giving up lunch at the reality of scarcity, that we have limited resources or supply of goods that we want, but an unlimited desire to consume stuff. And so, because there's not enough to go around, we have to make choices. Those choices have opportunity costs. The purpose of economics is to help us identify what is the most efficient or optimal choice to make. Can't have everything, so what's going to make me the happiest or the most profitable? One way we can look at opportunity costs is with a diagram known as the production possibilities curve. And the production possibilities curve assumes that there are essentially two goods in any given economy. In this case, army trucks and cars. I can pour all my resources into making trucks, or I can pour all my resources into making cars, or I can have a combination of both. And so if all I do is make army trucks, I'll have 0 cars, but 12 trucks, which is point A on the curve. Or I could do 0 trucks, in which case I could have 3 cars, that's point D on the curve. Or I could have some combination. I could do 2 trucks and 1 car, or 6 trucks and 2 cars, and that would be points B and C. Now, A, B, C, and D, there is not necessarily one point better than the other. They're just, these are the points we could have depending on the choices we make about how much of each of these goods to produce. And so if I choose to go from point A to point B, I'm going to lose 2 trucks. In order to get 1 car, I lose 2 trucks. So the opportunity cost of moving from point A to B, the opportunity cost of gaining 1 car, is how many trucks I lose. In this case, it's 2. And if I go from point B to point C, then I would say that in order to gain one more car, I have to give up 4 trucks. I'm going from 10 trucks to 6. So the opportunity cost of point C, the opportunity cost of a second car, is 4 trucks. That's what I'm giving up. Marginal analysis helps us decide whether uh, it makes sense or not to continue on a behavior that we're doing, or to continue to consume a good that I'm consuming. And so it's all based on, do I do another? Do I continue to move forward? And we care very deeply about marginal analysis. As we'll see throughout the course, we don't care about total. I don't care about total benefit. I just need to know, do I continue doing the thing I'm doing? Because if I do continue doing this thing, will it bring me more happiness than it costs me? So marginal benefit is the benefit I receive of one more item consumed. Um, so if I'm eating French fries, do I keep eating the French fries? Well, the marginal benefit I receive of the next fry helps me determine whether I continue to eat or not. The marginal cost is how much cost is associated with one more unit of consumption. And I am having to weigh the benefit and the cost. So I'm going to keep eating my fries as long as each fry I consume brings me more happiness than it costs me. There will be a time when I stop. But as long as marginal benefit, the additional happiness I get, we also will notice that marginal benefit tends to decrease over time and marginal costs tend to increase over time. I become happy at a decreasing rate. So my happiness, my total happiness, is increasing at a decreasing rate because of diminishing marginal benefit. And my marginal costs are increasing at an increasing rate. Uh, and so we see that and we experience this. So you can imagine people eating at a seafood buffet. And when you start, you've got all this wonderful food in front of you and it looks delicious and it smells amazing and you can't wait to get into it. And so you're all smiles as you start to eat. But the longer you eat, the less enjoyment you get from each additional bite. It's not that the food doesn't taste good or that it's not prepared well. It's just that you're becoming fuller and fuller and fuller, and you need less and less additional food to make you happy. But if you just keep going, you'll notice that eventually, while the food is still perfectly good, you're not enjoying it as much, but the cost to your body, how you feel, how you look, gets worse and worse and worse. The costs continue to rise and rise and rise. So, you don't just keep eating because the food is good. You eat until that next bite's marginal cost is greater than the marginal benefit you receive. Normal people call that being full, but in economics, we'd say that you've reached the efficient quantity. You've reached the point at which it's no longer optimal to continue consuming something. The ultimate goal is to have your marginal benefit equal your marginal cost. That's the place where you should stop consuming a good, because that's the last place where you're not being harmed by the consumption of the good. Before, when marginal benefit is greater than marginal cost, you're every single time you consume another unit, you're adding to your total happiness, you're adding to your total benefit. And that's good because at the end of the day, we want to maximize our total happiness. When marginal benefit is less than marginal cost, it's taking away from your total benefit. So having them be equal indicates that there's no longer any opportunity to be made better off. So let's look at an example. Let's pretend that you are trying to decide whether to go see a movie at the theater. Maybe a new Marvel movie has come out or something like that. And the first time you go, you get $30 worth of benefit. You would be willing to pay $30 to see this movie, but you only have to pay 10. The second time you go, your total benefit's $45. You will have paid 20. Third time you go, you'll have $50 worth of benefit. It'll only have cost you 30. So the question is, how many times would you see the movie? Would you see the movie 3 times? And if we're looking at total benefit, total cost, 3 times totally makes sense because we're $20 ahead. We have a profit essentially of 20 bucks when I see the movie 3 times. But is that the best or optimal number of times to see the movie? And the short answer is no, it's not. You're better off only seeing it twice because of marginal analysis. If I look at it from total, again, if I see from total, I look and I say twice, well, why would I only go twice when I get $45 worth of benefit? If I go 3 times, I'll have $50 worth of benefit. So I'm ahead. But no, 2 is the better choice. Why? Because we have to look at marginal benefit and marginal cost. How much additional benefit am I getting versus how much additional cost? So the first time I go see it, my marginal benefit is $30. I had 0 benefit before because I'd never seen it. Now I have 30. It only costs me 10. The second time I go see the movie, my total benefit increases from 30 to 45. So the increase in benefit is $15 for that next movie. And the additional cost of that next movie is still $10. So I paid 10 to get $15 in happiness. That's a good deal. The third time I go see the movie, however, I'm going from $45 in total benefit to 50. So the marginal increase is only 5, but it costs me 10. And it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to pay $10 in order to get $5 in benefit. It leaves me worse off. When I only go twice, my total net benefit, my total net profit is the $20 from the first time, 5 from the second, for a $25 total net benefit. If I go 3 times, my net benefit is only $20. So I'm better off only going twice. So would I see the movie 3 times? No, I wouldn't. I would not see it 3. I would only see it twice because that's the last time where marginal benefit is greater than or equal to marginal cost. And why should we care about this? Why does scarcity matter? Basically because we can't have everything we want. The study of economics exists because of scarcity. If I could have everything I want, whenever I want, regardless of price, I wouldn't need economics. But I do because there is scarcity. We're going to have to learn how to prioritize in order to get the most out of our scarce resources. And as it turns out, if we would like to have more goods, if we'd like to consume more, we're going to have to figure out a way to expand the pie to have what we call economic growth, which we'll deal with much later on in the course.